Hello, my name is Andrea and I'm addicted to thrift stores. Well, I shouldn't go to thrift stores because I have so much stuff, but curiosity always gets me, and when you look, you find, so I did go to a thrift store today, and I had actually almost bought this the last time I'd been in there, but it was color of the week this week, so it was only $1 this week. I like my boxes, storage, and apparently this originally had Swedish ginger snaps, which wouldn't have been bad to have, but I enjoy using the tins. I like the irony of buying tins with no food, no candy, no cookies in it, and using it to store my sewing supplies, because just about every tin that my sewing supplies are in originally had some sort of food in them. And I understand that's the joke of how unusual it is to find like a Danish butter cookie tin that actually has Danish butter cookies in it instead of sewing supplies. Well, I've had both. Of all the sewing supply boxes that I have that I'm keeping that had food in them, like there's a lot of like Pepperidge Farm cookies and Whitman samplers, but I really wish this mooncakes box still had mooncakes in it. But I never had these mooncakes. I bought the box empty. So I have more food storage to keep hobby things in. And what else did I not need? Socks. Although just plain socks are useful, and I would probably give these to the kiddo. They might be a little big for him, but he's growing. And then these, oh, don't tell me they actually got into the sock. I prefer to buy socks in the packages because when they put the tags in, that means they're not putting the tag into the sock and causing a run. I don't know how many pairs of tights I've seen in the store where they put the Swift Attach tag directly into the tights. And tights run when you're just wearing them. I can't imagine how fast they'll run when there's a big hole poked into them from the Swift Attacher. Socks are a little sturdier though. A lot of sock companies will Swift Attach. And I wanted to see, what is this? Smart wool socks. 90% wool, 9% nylon, 1% elastic. So I could not see the not ingredients, contents, the way they were when they were in their actual package. But, I couldn't resist a pair of loud purple socks. Although the fact that they're wool means I will have to wear them with tights because wool makes me itchy. So maybe I will be able to stop going to the thrift store and stop buying socks and boxes and dolls. These were from the random toy table. I generally don't approve of these because fur, but whenever I see fur things in the thrift store, it's like something died. Don't just throw it to the thrift store. So, I won't buy fur stuff new, but I will give it the respect it needs when I see it in the thrift store. So there's that. And then just this generic 80s style, although I would say Hong Kong clone, although she actually says made in China. So maybe she's from the 90s, or maybe she was made in China. But she has a little bit darker skin than you usually see on these. And you see her blue eyeshadow and blue eyebrows. So that intrigued me. The lady at the cashier said, "Oh, do you fix these up?" Even she could tell that this needed to be fixed up. I said, "Yes. I can sew new hair into them and give them better bodies." And she's sew hair into them. Yeah, it can take a while, but it's usually worth it. So that. And then I also grabbed this from the random toy table. I can almost remember what this series of dolls was called. They have like clips on them. And there was like I think a cheerleader and a sporty one, and I want to say they're from about 2003 or 2004. And this is obviously the goth one. Her hair is obviously horrible, but I know somebody who can fix hair. I actually have several dolls that I might be sending that way soon, Tiffy. So, but I cannot remember what these are called, and if you can, leave it in the comments would be appreciated. I will keep trying to look it up. I was looking up keychain dolls, but that wasn't bringing up, cloth keychain dolls wasn't bringing anything up, so I don't know if these were keychains or clips, but there is a series of them. I can't remember if I had one. I'm pretty sure I looked at them in the stores way back then, but I was amused that this is the one I found today. And I ran into Walmart for some things, and you can barely even see it over the clearance sticker. I grabbed a Pikmin. I am probably going to take pictures of this poor guy being hurled by other dolls at things. But, and then that's really all the doll stuff from me, because I spent the weekend sewing human stuff, basically sewing t-shirts. Like, I made this shirt. This is made from, like I said, when Natalia sent me the big box of cloth, thanks again forever for that. I had put a lot of it into a tub, a plastic tub for storage, and I'd actually sewn through enough of it that the tub was about half full, so I decided I was going to make an effort and sew a bunch of the, she'd sent a lot of t-shirts that the print, the logos on the front, with whatever, the images on the front, or the sleeves or back, wherever had been cut off, and then the rest of the t-shirt is what I could use. So I went ahead and cleared out everything and decided to use a lot of the rest of the t-shirts. There's still a big pile behind the camera on the ironing board that I'm still going to try to assemble into shirts. But I'd had this idea to do like these waves of the pink and the purple and the black. And that worked out. I was lazy. I did not make a proper pattern and test it first. I just cut it and sewed it, and it's flat enough. So then I made this for the kiddo. I actually didn't have enough of the t-shirt material left to do the back. The back is this waffle knit that I've used for a lot of things. I'd originally made it without the star, and I took it to him, I said, "Do you like this t-shirt? I made this t-shirt for you. Do you like it?" And he looked at it and said, "Where's the green?" I said, "What? I like green. I like green and things." I was like, "Yeah, but you like purple too." "Yes, but where's the green?" I said, "Well, where would you like the green?" He said, "Turn that stripe green." I said, I can't. They said, "But hold on, I'll put something green there." So I went through and I dug through and found an old shirt that I've already been using for doll clothes, old t-shirt. It had been his t-shirt, and we'd ironed something on the front of it, and it was a home-printed decal, and it didn't survive being washed a few times. So I cut that out and put the star on, and he's already worn it to school, so that's a win. And then I'd had this idea to do like a lace overlay on these shirts, since I figure as long as the rest is stretchy, then it doesn't matter if the front can stretch or not, since, you know, with all these seams, the extra stitches on it and sewing, there's not as much stretch. So I actually did not make this out of spare t-shirts. I actually made this out of yardage cloth, including some of the lace that somebody gave me. I'm not sure about this one here. Once I got it sewn, looking at it just hanging there, it really reminds me of a soccer jersey. I don't know why. When I wear it, it didn't quite give me that jersey look, but still, it's nice to have another shirt. But this was really just the practice to see if the lace overlay was practical, because the one I really wanted to make was this one with the spider web lace. And this is the same pink t-shirt that this was, so this was using some more of the t-shirt. But I just used the waffle knit for everything else. And actually, the sleeve bands and the neck band is this same two-way stretch cloth that I had, which I used to use for doll clothes, but then it stained a bunch of dolls, so then I put it with my real human cloth. So I'm very happy with this. This worked out. And so that got, at least initially, got the t-shirt urge out of my system. I have prepared the green bits to sew the green underskirt for Stella, my Hujo Ayo who I had sewn the sort of slubby silk brown and purple outfit for, and I wanted to make an underskirt and maybe a capelet. And so this is as far as I've gotten on the underskirt and the capelet, and I actually really want to get this made, and when it's not so stinking hot outside, take the doll out during the school day when there's no kids around, and take her out to the tree line behind the house. Well, it's not right behind the house. If it was right behind the house, it'd be easier to get to. There's actually this huge drainage ditch that turns into like a raging torrent when it rains really heavy, which is good because when we had that flood here in Nashville like 5 years ago, we did not get flooded. We watched the water in that ditch get up almost to the top of the ditch, but it saved the neighborhood, no flooding here. So we're perfectly fine with the function of that drainage ditch. But what I don't like is the fact that it's like this really steep angle to get down the side. We're always yelling at kids, well, not yelling, discouraging children from the neighborhood to go down the ditch on our side, because you go down the ditch on our side, you're a lot more likely to trip and break something. So if you go around the curve of the road, then you can get to the open. It's a common area back there, and it's free for everyone to use, and it's much safer if you don't go down that ditch. So when I get the underskirt and the capelet made for this doll, I'm going to very carefully walk around the road into the flat part and take her into the tree line back there and take pictures of her in the forest, because she really reminds me of sort of like the Legend of Zelda. Zelda's that world. Those are the clothes that remind me of. Her clothes remind me. I mean, I didn't do it on purpose like a lot of things I do. It's just, oh, hey, this is a thing when I'm done. So, other doll thing. You remember those 3 natural hair dolls that I made the clothes for, and I'd run into my favorite cashier in Target and said I will give you some natural hair dolls next time I see you. I finally saw her on Monday. The kiddo and I ran into the store after school, and I saw her car, so I grabbed this bag of dolls that I've been keeping in my trunk for a month or so. For that long? Yeah. Keeping it in my trunk. So, I mean, the doll's hair was kind of flattened from the heat. But anyway, so in there, and I found her, and I gave her the dolls, and she was thrilled, and there were some hugs, and she was happy. So, I'm not the complete weirdo for giving random people dolls. And speaking of that, somebody sent me a box of dolls. It's fenn-bjd, thank you. And I have picked it up from the post office, and I'm going to open it now. This person was going to be trying to do more with fixing up dolls, but they're going back to school, and said, hey, I'd like to send you some. And I said, thank you. I really need to stop accepting this because I have so many dolls, and I keep telling myself, well, once the winter comes, I'm going to be ready to sit down and do more customs. And I did have the successful weekend of sewing, so maybe I can get my brain in that direction, but like I said, I need to stop spending time in the thrift store. It's not even spend, I mean, even if I walk in the thrift store and walk all over and examine everything and don't spend any money, I've still spent time there that I could be using at home on projects. So, let's see. They said that they would send me just the more unusual things they found. Like we have, this is, I don't remember what the dolls with the Everflex body were. She has, this is Teresa with sparkles under her eyes. That's interesting. Anyway, if you don't know the Everflex body, that's Mattel, briefly. A few years before going the full-blown articulation route of the articulated fashionistas, they had this body called Everflex, or as we tend to call it, the Gumby body. And I know some people really like this body, and some people think it's hard to. I've never actually had this body before, so this should be, excuse me, sorry, this should be interesting. Thank you. And we have, she actually have a magical summer sculpt, or Teresa doll. Let's see. Oh. I think there's a lot of potential with Snow White's face. It seems like I've seen some repaints of her that are really, really amazing. So I can finally mess around with the Snow White. Thank you. And again, is this the sculpt that I rooted green with the bright green hair? I can't remember. It's been so long since I've done that. So this guy, his hair is crunchy. He's definitely going into the reroot queue. I think now I have at least 10 dolls who I want to reroot eventually. This is this also one of the Fifth Harmony dolls? I'm not sure. It's not a completely normal Carnival sculpt, so that's good. Oh, this is... Okay, she's in the Disney princess dress, which I can fix. She actually is the Laura sculpt. Is this Drew? This isn't Drew. Drew always has red hair. Oh, or is she from... Oh, she's from 12 Dancing Princesses, isn't she? That's the crown in her. So I actually don't have any dolls with this sculpt. Hadn't had any dolls with that sculpt either, so thank you. Okay, this is the so-called Hobbit Barbie body. This was around 2006. This tried to be the mainline Barbie body and everybody said no. But I've actually been wanting to play around with this. You know, I like variety. And so this smaller torso, actually I wanted to mess with trying to give articulation, but I haven't had any dolls with this body. So, I mean, it's very interesting proportions overall, but I can see why people didn't like it, didn't find it acceptable, and why Mattel said, yeah, okay. So, also fun to play with, thank you. And a Stacy We Three Friends, not the We Free Men. Well, she could be in the field, but... This is another body that I have messed around with in the past, altering to give different arms and legs. It's a nice summer. I'm resisting the urge to lick my fingers and rub the stuff off their face. Another Snow White to play with. Is this the same sculpt as the other one, or are they slightly different? Sorry, out of frame. Oh, or is she? No, she's Mattel. Okay, so she's more modern Mattel. Yeah, they have very different head sculpts. This one is a lot rounder and actually more like Skipper. Actually, back in the 90s, when the only larger Barbie body available was Rosie McDonald, actually put a Mattel Snow White head on the Rosie McDonald body. So I think this would also be very cute on a curvy body. So maybe that's more of a reason to buy one of those clearance super pale curvies. It's like, I love my curvy who I gave the articulation to, but I'm not sure I want to do that again because I couldn't do it fast. As John and I have been discussing, we both like to do stuff fast. So even when there's a step, when overall it's an easy project, but there's a stage that we have to wait for something to dry or cure, it's like, go faster! But I need to learn patience. That would probably solve a lot of my problems. Right, and here's a gymnast Teresa. Not gymnast, because she doesn't be high-heeled. Old-style articulated Teresa. I should know who she is with the green eyes, too. I'm starting to get into Teresas lately. Just because I keep finding them at Thrift, I guess. Or people are sending them to me. Is this? Yeah, this is a Hong Kong style dress. Yeah, made in China. Teresa is one of those faces that I took for granted for a long time, so I think I'm finally starting to appreciate it. Another Disney princess to have fun with. Her batteries seem to be dead. I actually have not had any of the Frozen dolls. So this could be fun to play with. That whole Disney Pixar look, faces, I haven't done, like I have the Eleanor that somebody gave me, I just haven't done anything with that face yet because I don't know if I can, if I did anything with it, would it still just look like, you know, like I've just repainted a Disney Pixar person, or could I make it my own? And Ariel. Now she's wearing Heart Family Mom's dress, which I have. I think the Heart Family Mom I have is not the one who came in this dress, but I of course would amuse myself immensely to get that doll fixed up on a body and put her in this dress. It's actually in pretty good shape too, considering all the unhemmed knit on it. That's cool. And with lots of clothes. So Groovy Girl. This Groovy Girl stuff should fit a lot of dolls in interesting manners. This came on a doll, didn't it? This could be fun to chuck into a black dye bath. I went through a phase where I did that, where I put a whole bunch of Barbie outfits into black dye, and everything that's nylon will just slurp the dye up. Like I had the Think Pink Barbie dress, which is pink with like these iridescent triangles over it, but you still can see the pink through it. And I threw that in a black dye bath, and it turned black with iridescent, not triangles, diamonds on it. And it was, I was very happy that I dyed that one black. Some things you put in a black dye bath, and they just turn kind of an in a uncertain gray, because most synthetic fabrics don't accept dye very well. Barbie collectibles. Again, I should recognize this, but I'm completely blanking because I don't keep up with Barbie collectibles. I feel sometimes like people are watching me and saying, "You don't deserve that, you don't even know what it is." And you're probably right, but they're dolls. Okay, I also don't recognize this, but I'm pretty sure it is Barbie. It just has a plastic snap that's broken, which I can fix that. I can fix that. That'd be nice. I wonder, well, sometimes wonder if I should get a steamer so I can steam some of these rumpled old synthetic Barbie dresses. Like I said, polyester doesn't take dye very well, and it doesn't take heat very well either before it melts. But steam might be able to smooth things out. And of course, if you recognize this stuff, feel free to tell me what it is, because I know a lot about dolls, but I don't know everything by a long shot. And these, yes, I had this in the 90s. I had this outfit. There should be a pair of like flare-like jeans that go with it, I think. I had this. This is cool to find again. I actually think some of my Snow Whites, when they were still on the regular Barbie body, may have worn this a lot when I was trying to pretend that she was just another kid. I think this is from Olympic Barbie. Oh, here's... Is this from a doll with an India theme? Because whether it's accurate or not, I can see how it could be construed as seeming Indian. And Toy Story Barbie's dress. I've never had this before either. I've never had a lot of this stuff. Alright, I think this is another Groovy Girls thing. Or no, it's tie gear. Was Groovy Girls tie? Anyway, so yeah, my BJDs can probably wear this stuff. I remember this. Does this have a sleeping bag inside it? Was this the summer party skipper? Actually, I don't think this was Skipper. This was one of her friends. I'm babbling. Yes, I know. I can't just look at a thing. I have to figure a thing out. It's probably an annoying thing about me. This has some mildew spots. Can do some selective bleaching on that. Was this Spice Girls or is this not even a fashion doll? It's like, I want to say this was Hart Family Dad, but was it just Ken? Or is it Barbie and I'm just not seeing it right? No, it's definitely not Hart Family. It's got the wrong kind of Velcro. I think they were still using snaps then. Okay, so this is just something I am not clicking with. No, it's definitely Barbie, not Ken, because the neck is so small. This was one of the, or was this one of the articulated horse riding dolls? I get distracted. And another one of these, which this is very common with these, from Great Shape Barbie from like the '84. But it's pretty easy to sew back up. I've sewn them back up before. Some doll tights, always useful. Okay, and shorts. Is this a Hypofamily or just Barbie? Back when they put, I think that slit is just so they could wire it into the box. I don't think this was from somebody who had wings, but it could be put on somebody who has wings. Oh, this is a little tiny vest. Is this from Little Brats? I can't remember. As usual, I'm sure there are people screaming at me about all the stuff that I'm not getting right. I think this was from Goodnight Barbie or Sleeping Time Barbie or whatever that Barbie who slept in the 80s was. The Barbie in the fluffy negligees to wear to bed. As John has pointed out, it's in the 80s and early 90s, they sold negligees for Barbies. Like when Midge and Alan got married, they had Midge's wedding trousseau, which was like, I think there was a sailor outfit, and the outfit I had, don't remember the top because I put it with Safari Barbie's pink fake lame top, but the pants were just these super wide pastel paisley. Not even bell bottoms, they're just wide. But they weren't short, they weren't culottes or palazzo pants. Not culottes or palazzo pants. They were all the way to the ground. And also in Midge's wedding trousseau was her lingerie. Oh, this is nice. This has a big snap in it that says it's probably kind of old. It's that good vintage, worn goth look. Well, actually, I like the... Sorry, my mind's racing to wear this. Could wear it this side out with another skirt under it, and I'll take pictures of it when I do. So this is another lovely, generous box, thank you, and I really need to hunker down now and start making stuff. Next week, next Wednesday morning, if you believe in that kind of thing, just start thinking real hard. Dolls ahoy, don't go thrifting. And also, I wanted to say, just in case it wasn't obvious from my dolls and my online friends and things, that I believe in diversity. I think diversity is what makes everything better. So I know you're not here for things that get political, and I like to think that my actions show this kind of stuff, but just in case it needed to be stated, there it was. Diversity, thumbs up forever. Bye.